Hey guys, I'm Desikan, and today's video I'm going to be talking about some new face brushes that I have really been loving, and I wanted to talk to you guys about it, maybe like a brush update sort of a video. And please excuse me if you can see a lot of shimmer particles on my face because the glitter on my eye is just falling. It's fallen out, so there's a little bit of glitter everywhere. Apart from that, let's get started. First brush I'm going to be talking about is the Rufa Beauty brush. This one is the RB24 brush. This one is like a flat top kabuki brush and also feels like a stippling brush, and it blends out your foundation really well. If your foundation is extremely runny, it will make it a little bit streaky, so just make sure that you are using a more stippling motion as opposed to something like dragging or circling motion. Just like stipple it on your face and it blends out the foundation really well. I don't quite remember if I have a demo for this foundation, but if I do have it, I will attach it to this video. But this is a really nice brush and I have washed it, and these brushes are so sturdy. All of these brushes are, none of them have like any kind of hair coming out, nothing of that sort. And then another brush that I'm absolutely in love with for my foundation, and it's a multi-purpose brush. I use it not just for my foundation, for blush, for bronzer, for everything pretty much, like cream products. This one is the Real Technique 001 brush, and this is like a rounded puffing brush, so it blends in every single thing on your face really well. It feels very lightweight, but do not judge it by just the weight of it. Sometimes even I like judge a brush by the weight, like how it feels. I'm like, okay, why does this feel so flimsy? Does it really work? But it actually blends out the foundation and everything really well. So if you wanted one brush that can do everything for you, definitely do pick this one up. And similarly, another multi-purpose brush is this one. This is the Europe Girl EG045 brush. What an amazing brush this one is. This has like a rounded edge like this, and it blends in pretty much your foundation. You can also blend your foundation with this, like if you were to use like a more thicker foundation, or most of your foundations actually blend in really well. You can use this for blush, for powder, for bronzer, for everything pretty much. If you don't really have any eyeshadow on your eye, you can actually use this for concealer as well, because it's a pretty big brush and it will get your job done. If you want to apply concealer on your lid as well, this would do the job. And then we have another brush which is from Europe Girl, and I love this one for my foundation. This one is the Europe Girl EG046 brush. So the previous one I showed is 45, this one is 46 brush. Amazing for your foundation. Okay, it gets a job done in no time. It looks flimsy and all of that, but it has a pretty good density. It's not too dense, but it's not too flimsy as well, and it blends the foundation like a dream. And sometimes certain foundations do get a little bit streaky. All you have to do is just press it this way and it blends it amazingly well. What an amazing product this one is. I found so many good base brushes that I just wanted to update you guys on this. And then we have this one. This is the Pack 007 brush. I got this one specifically for concealer, and it does exactly that. Like, it blends the concealer really well, and it also has that thickness where if you've gone a little bit overhand with your concealer and you wanted the brush to soak up that excess product, it actually does so. And it also has that pointed edge, so it gives you a little bit of precision, and if you have eyeshadow on top, it won't take the concealer on top. So it's really nice, not at all scratchy. You can also use this for like cream contouring, and like if you wanted to place your contour very precisely, this brush works amazingly well for that. Like, I have used this so many times if I wanted to place the contour like this or apply it anywhere more precisely. Oh God. And then we have two other concealer brushes which look similar, and they look like they are from the same brand. They're extremely messy. One is from Europe Girl. This one is the EG034 brush. A really nice brush. This one is a little bit bigger than this one, so if you have eyeshadow on top, the concealer does get on top a little bit and it is a little bit messy. So I use this on days where I don't really have any eyeshadow. Like if I'm doing my base first, I use this brush. It blends it in no time, and around my mouth and everything, it's a little bit like bigger, so it gets the job done. Use this for cream contouring, and I also use this to sometimes blend my cream blushes. Does it really well. A beautiful brush. Every single, okay, there's an insect here, and that's why I was looking around that side. You can get any one of these brush, but especially I would recommend you guys get brushes like this which are multi-purpose, so that you can use it for different purposes. And this one is the PAC073 brush. I get a lot of questions every single time I use this particular brush. This is a little bit more precise, and I would use this pretty much just to place my cream contour, blend my cream contour, and for concealer alone, and it just does the job really well. It doesn't really work for like very full coverage cream concealer products where it kind of doesn't soak in that product, so you have to, like, it kind of gets a little bit messy, you have to use a sponge. I would use this only for liquid concealer, and if you've not gone overboard with the concealer. If you feel like, you know, you've applied too much concealer, I would recommend using some other like bigger, fluffier brushes. But if you have applied just the right amount and you wanted like a very nice blend and like a, you know, it should look natural looking and sheer looking on the skin and not too much of concealer, then you can use this brush because it doesn't soak in as much product, and there will be a little bit of excess product left which you have to take in with a sponge. And then I'm going to be talking about a brush set. This is from Real Techniques. It came in this kind of a packaging, and what is it called? Okay, it's called the Real Techniques Everyday Essentials brush set. So it came in a brush set like this, and this has a setting brush which I've already talked about quite a few times. I use this for concealer, I also use this for highlighter. It works pretty well even for loose powder. But the other products that came in that were this blush brush, which applies the blush really well. Okay, it looks so big, but it picks up just the right amount of product, and it is, even though I used a very intense blush like the My Glam blush, it doesn't really pack on the blush like that. And just look at the blush application I have on my face, so seamless, so amazing. This brush does it. So if you have applied too much of blush, you can just turn it over this side where it's a little bit more clean, and then like kind of blend it out. You know, it does the job really well. You can also use this for bronzer, but I feel like it doesn't pick up as much product. It would be a sheer wash of color, but you can use this with a more intense bronzer, and then it will look a little bit more diffused and nice. Okay, this is one brush that came in that, and the other brush that came in this was the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. I don't know why it took me so long to try this brush out, but I am in love with this. Today I used it in the demo to blend out my concealer, and you guys can see I also had like eyeshadow on, right? And it didn't really mess up anything, and it blended out really well, so smooth. And also it doesn't really, like, it also absorbs that little bit of excess concealer, so it doesn't look messy and it doesn't create a mess. I really like it. I also use this for around my face and everything. If you wanted a more like precise blending, you can use this. If you were to use this for your foundation, it does this job really well, but it's a little bit smaller and it would take you forever to blend your foundation out, but it would give you a very, very even, smooth blend. You can also use this for like cream contour if you want to place your bronzer and blend it out. It's a multi-purpose brush again. Really like this. And the other brush that came with this was a eye brush. Where is that? I used it for concealer actually. Yeah. So this kind of a dome shaped brush, which I used it for concealer initially to apply it on my eyelid, and it does the job pretty well. And you can also use it like if you wanted to precisely apply concealer anywhere, blend it out. If you wanted like to apply one matte eyeshadow and add that wash of color on your lid, you can use this brush and it would actually pack on that color really well. And you can use it for concealer as well. And the other product that came with that set is this sponge. I never really liked the Real Techniques of Miracle Complexion sponge. I found it to be too dense and I was not liking how it was working. Surprisingly, this set comes with a really nice sponge. It's very, very soft and squishy, and it blends the foundation really well. Finally I get what people are talking about. The previous Real Techniques sponges that I tried out, the small one, even the face and body sponge, which is a little bit huge, it was not working for me at all. It was so dense, but this one blends really well. It gives you that shape and everything. Yeah, you have a lot of dupes for this, but this one does work really well. So this was a set for 2,200 rupees, and you can find this on discount most of the times on Amazon. And the seller that I picked this one up from is called ATM Retail, and they are the official distributor, so you are getting a genuine product. And then from Real Techniques, I also have this one. This is, oh god, oh, okay. This one is the Insta Pop Face Brush. So I use this for blush. It applies the blush really well, but it does pick it up a little bit intensely and gives you an intense wash of color. I did try to use this for foundation. It's not dense enough for foundation, and it is very similar to my PAC brush that I have. Like the shape and everything is quite similar to that. I do, however, like the PAC brush a little bit more. I feel like it's a little nice and dense, but this one is pretty good as well. Like it's not bad, but I like the PAC brush over this. You can use this just for blush in case you are looking for a good blush brush. and you want it from Real Techniques, then you can try this out. Otherwise you can skip on that. And then we also have this one. This is my favorite. Okay, this is the Insta Pop Cheek brush, and I use this for blending out my concealer. I use this to blend out my blush and also to blend out the contour, and sometimes like blend out my foundation as well, and it works really well. It has that perfect shape, so you can get that easy blend without the streaks on your face, and it's not too dense and it's not too wispy as well. So it's a really nice brush to try out in case you wanted to. I know I'm giving you out so many recommendations, but there are different purposes for each of this in case you wanted to try them out. And then we have the Real Techniques powder brush, which is a large powder brush. Like, look at this size of this. This is to set powder alone, and you can't do anything else with this. It's not too dense, so you wouldn't be able to use this for anything else but just powder. So if you wanted to set loose powder, setting pressed powder all over your face, and you just wanted to set your face with a little bit of powder, you can do that. If you wanted it to be dense and you wanted it to like add a little bit of coverage, if you're using like a powder foundation and you wanted to use this, it wouldn't give you coverage because it is a little bit wispy, so you would have to use maybe your usual buffing brush itself. And then we are talking about this one. This is the Pigment Play blush brush, but I don't feel like this works really well for blush. However, I feel like this works really well for powder. So if you wanted to set your face with loose powder, pressed powder, powder foundation, this is a good brush to try out for that. It would give you pretty good coverage as well, not like intense coverage, but pretty good coverage if you were to use it on a daily basis. Like if you're using powder foundation on a regular basis, you wanted like slight coverage but not like intense coverage, you can try this out. And then we have the Pigment Play highlighting face brush. I really like this brush. Look at the pointy end of this one. These kind of brushes make me really happy because they give you very precise highlighter application. And sometimes, you know, highlighters, when the brushes are not right, it'll go a little too low or it'll go a little too high, and it wouldn't give you that kind of application you like. I don't like it to be too intense, but nor do I want to keep going back in for more product just to build up on the highlighter. But this one picks up just the right amount of product, and if you hold it the right way and apply the right kind of pressure, you're not actually applying too much highlighter. Like I have highlighter on, and that's exactly how I like my highlighter to be. So this brush is amazing for that. And then the last brush we're going to be talking about is the Art PP17 Brush. I never thought I would like this brush. I thought I would never like these kind of like, you know, wispy looking stippling brush, but this applies your blush really well. And no wonder a lot of people really like stippling brushes, because if there's anything excess on your face, you can actually just use this brush like just on its own, and then it would tackle out all of that excessiveness. It absorbs all of that and blends it really well. So that's why I think you need a stippling brush. Like if you are someone who is very intimidated in using a blush and you think you always go overboard with your blush, and you wanted something that doesn't really pick up that much of product, it gives you that even seamless blend, you can try this out. Final touch up, I always use this brush these days, like for my blush. It's so like hard to say brush, blush, brush, blush, and I always interchange them. But when I want to like give that seamless application to my blush, make it look seamless, blend it beautifully, I use this. And just look at that, so good. So those are pretty much all the brushes I wanted to talk to you guys about. I have talked about eye brushes and a lot of brushes in my videos in the past. You can check them out. You can just type Deepthi Desikan brushes and you'll get a whole lot of recommendation. But today's video is just about these brushes. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you have discovered any new like brushes, sponges, let me know in the comment section down below. And while you're at it, give this video a big thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. And I see you guys in my next one. Bye.